I will show you how to create your map with My Maps of Google. We first create our first map. We zoom to the area we would like to create our map on. I will zoom into Lagos. So what we see here is a general city map. I can change, first of all, the title of my map. And then I have the possibility to change my base map. I can change it to the standard map. I can change it to a satellite image, which gives me much more detail on the ground, and there are various other options of the base map. So I would like to have a first layer generated, for example, of a community. What I can do is I change here the name of the layer. And I can add a point of, for example, the center of the community. I can also add further layers. I can add in principle point, line, and polygon layers. Let's add another layer and call it, for example, community boundary. So to add shape or a polygon layer, I need to make sure that I select the layer and I can draw a line. Let's assume this is the boundary. To make a shape, I need to close my line. I can also, in principle, add lines. So I can add another layer saying maybe road or bridge. And I can take a line feature and start drawing the bridge, which is quite a long bridge, which goes along the boundary of the community. Let's stop it here. If I have my objects, I can also change how I visualize them. So I can, for example, decide, okay, I can select from various icons, but I also can decide to make my custom icons, which, for example, allows me to also add a photo of a person or a photo of a community. Let us add a photo of one of the communities. Maybe we add maybe a photo of the area. Maybe that's better. Good. So we have our point, we have our boundary, we have a line, and we can add further layers. Google allows us to add around 10 layers, so we have to be a bit careful about adding different objects. We can also put it into the same layer, like if I would now digitize another community, I can simply add it into the same layer if it's, for example, another community. Calling it now community 2. I can later on also adjust the way I'm displaying it, zooming back to the community we have been working with. I can also add layers which are not layers I digitize, but layers coming from other sources. I can import specific format. For example, I can import KML files. In this case, I will try to import an KML file, which provides me locations of community centers which have been mapped on OpenStreetMap. And the same is, I can again change their styles in the way I would like to visualize them, like all community centers having the same style. So for example, I might want to change again to a maybe more descriptive file location. For example, I decide to take like the house symbol for all community centers. Want to change maybe the color, and then all the community centers which have been digitized are having the house symbol. So like this I can continue changing, adding information of places I know. I can also add other aspects, like I could add now here the ongoing dredging activity, which is maybe threatening the community here. So I can add a lot of information to be shown on my map. Again, I can always change different visualizations of the background map, making things maybe more clear to the general audience. Maybe I know also the community center of this community. I can add. I can possibly also give a name, Community Fun Center. Etc. If I'm happy about my map, depending how I would like to visualize my map, I can also see and view them. For example, my map in Google Earth. How my map is visualized in Google Earth. The areas I'm interested in. Finally, I can also then decide if I'm finished with my mapping exercise to say, okay, I would like to, can also preview the map, how it's shown when I share it. And decide if I'm happy to have my map in the way I'm previewing it. Maybe I want to change it. And I can then in the end decide to share it. I can share it to a specific group, but I can also say, okay, it can be shared to anybody with a link who has this link. I can copy the link. I can also embed this link, for example, into a website to share my link, my map to the general public via the link. What else I can also add is I can add a driving route, and I can decide for example, I zoom here into. So to automatically calculate the driving distance, I select a location like the office and decide, okay, I would like to go to one of the communities. What would be a driving direction, which will be automatically visualized and calculated. Good. So if you're happy with the map, again, I can share it and distribute it either with a specific group or with the general public, for example, via my website.